Well, welcome to the 12th Horseshoe podcast, sponsored by Proven Italian Eatery of Moonachie, New Jersey. In Indiana, it's Jack Rizzo, and in New Jersey, where it's cold and we have winter coats on and preparing for a nor'easter, I'm Elijah Weintraub. We have a great show for you guys coming up tonight. We have our Week 5 recap. We have our Week 6 picks all coming your way in just a little bit. We have a great half hour with you all coming up, so you cannot wait to get it underway. Jack, how's the weather in Indiana? I forgot to ask earlier.
It's been beautiful. It was really hot for like 3 weeks, but it's been in the 60s last couple of days. We had like a cold front come through, and it's kind of shifted the weather in the right direction. Finally, the colors are starting to change. So that's nice. And yeah, it was beautiful day today. It's gonna be beautiful again tomorrow. And I was a really big game tomorrow coming up tomorrow.
Yes, they do, and that are at Oregon, so it'll be a
That's right.
great
College
game.
game day will be in Eugene, and the game's on CBS at 3:30.
Yes, very interesting. A really great game to watch out for tomorrow in the college football world.
Hoosiers.
Yeah, and by the way, it's 20 degrees this morning. It was in Sussex County, and it was in the low 40s by me.
Yeah,
And we're supposed to get a really bad nor'eastern storm Sunday into Monday. So
sounds fun.
no, it really doesn't. So I'm glad you're in Indiana, safe and dry and having fun.
Beautiful.
Well, let's go ahead. We have a couple comments. Fabiana checks in, says, "Hi, how are you guys?" And she says, 60. I woke up to it being 39.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, it's cold on
Great
there.
weather. Let's go on now to our show. Well, we'll start off with the game we were in the middle of last week when we did our show. That was the Rams and the 49ers. Well, that game went to overtime. And what happened in overtime? The San Francisco 49ers won that football game 26-23. An Eli special, even though none of us picked it. And we both got the pick wrong because we both picked the Rams. And the 49ers came up on top in that game.
Yeah, I mean, it's really impressive the 49ers won this game considering how many injuries they had. I mean, no Brock Purdy, their top 3 receivers were all out. George Kittle is on IR, and they somehow found a way to win this game. I mean, I think it's just a testament to Kyle Shanahan and the job he's done there. I mean, look at the way Mac Jones has played with Brock Purdy out. He's been incredible. Over 300 passing yards this week. Kendrick Bourne turning back the clock, having an incredible game. And it's a big letdown for the Rams, after a big win the previous week over the Colts, just to come out and look completely flat against the 49ers is really disappointing. Puka Nacua was great again. Matthew Stafford's been great, but Kyron Williams lost a fumble at the goal line and got stopped short on 4th down in overtime. But this is a big win for the 49ers, especially early on in the season when this NFC West looks like it's going to be really good this year. So really nice showing from the 49ers. And they got some help too with all 3 teams in the division losing.
Yeah, they did. And let's just recap how we did last week. I went 7-7. Jack and 2-1 on LSU. Jack did pretty bad. He went 4-10.
Yeah, no.
2-1 on LSU. That might have been the worst score predictions of all time on our show's history.
I don't think it's quite that. I don't think it's as bad as some weeks. I went 3-11 one a week our first year of doing this. That's, I think, still the worst.
Wow.
We had some rough ones last year. I know you went 6-10 a couple times. And yeah, some weeks are just not our weeks.
Yeah, well, that week was not our week, that's for sure. In terms of for you and for me, 7 wins could have gone a little better, but it's all right. At least
I get my Survivor pick right.
I did too.
Yeah. No, but
we'll talk about that in a little bit.
No, but it's for my team though. So
well, your team is right now a Super Bowl contender right now. We'll talk about that in just
that's the thing too, is if I'll sacrifice sucking with these picks if my team keeps winning every week. So I'm perfectly okay with my pick sucking if the Colts just win every week.
You know what? That's great, but we'll talk about another team that surprised a lot of us last night. Not so much this week. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, let's go to London, where the Vikings got the victory over the Browns 21-17. And yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, they're interesting back and forth game in the second half. I mean, Carson Wentz and Dylan Gabriel both looked pretty good, and they both got beat up back there with the O-lines, with how bad both O-lines are. But a nice win for the Vikings, especially after losing in Dublin the week before. The crazy thing with the Vikings is that they've had back-to-back games overseas, and they don't even have a bye week. Oh, no, they do have a bye week. I'm sorry.
They do.
They do have a bye week, so that's good for them. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, I mean, it's just going to be a rough rest of the season, right? I mean, their O-line situation is not ideal. Their quarterback situation is not ideal. Joe Flacco's obviously gone. We'll talk about more about that in a little bit when we talk about the Bengals. But yeah, just a nice bounce back win for Minnesota. That defense is looking pretty good. And, Jordan Addison, who did not play the first quarter because apparently he missed a walkthrough in London because he was out exploring the city or whatever. Kevin O'Connell sat him for the first quarter, and then he comes back and catches the game-winning touchdown. So a nice showing there for him, and a nice win for the Vikings. Kind of a season saver, right? 3-2 is a much better situation to be in than 2-3, and especially with how good this NFC North is, a really nice win for Minnesota.
1000%, and could not agree more. We go now to the Texans and the Ravens, where the Ravens might be the worst football team in American history. Well, not American history. That's a little too far. That's the New York Jets. They continue to hold that title. But the Ravens and the Texans. The Texans, they weren't doing so great. They go to Baltimore. What was the final score? 44-10. Well, Jack and I got this pick wrong. And boy, was it rough down in Baltimore for these Ravens. And the Texans, they got a big victory.
Huge victory, especially considering that both the Colts and the Jaguars won this week. This keeps them alive in the division, because if they had lost and been 1-4, they would have been 3 games back already. They say 2 games back and they're still in it, but this was without a doubt the best. This is the best the Texans have looked in a game since CJ Stroud's rookie season, because last year wasn't so great. They really just did everything they needed to in this game. I mean, the defense was the real star, right? With 3 interceptions off of Cooper Rush, and the offense just took it from there. CJ Stroud had a good game. Nick Chubb ran the ball well. The receivers made plays, but this is really all about the Texans defense. They gave the offense a bunch of short fields to work with, and they capitalized, and it's a huge one for the Texans. And for the Ravens, I mean, sure, you need Lamar Jackson back, but that's not going to solve their defensive problems, because this defense is terrible. And, I don't really know if they're going to get much better unless they fire their defensive coordinator or they get a massive overhaul to this defense sooner rather than later.
Wow. I mean, there is no question about it there. And we go now to the New York Football Giants and the New Orleans Saints, which this Giants team has become a wishy-washy team where one week they're going to lose, then the next week they're going to win big on primetime. And in this case with the Saints, they lost and looked horrible. It looks like the end. They look like the ends to Jackson Dart. It looked like Dable's career was done in Norwood since they lost to the Saints 26-14. But then it was somehow survived. It was revived again. It made no sense. But we'll talk about that other Giants game in a little bit. But the Giants lost this game, though, to a New Orleans Saints team, which is a shock to many.
I mean, yeah. I mean, hey, give credit to the Saints getting their first win of the season. Kellen Moore's first win as a coach. The Saints honestly played pretty well in September. I mean, I know they lost all 4 of their games in the month of September, but 2 of their first 2 losses were both 1-score losses, and then they played really well against the Bills in Buffalo in Week 4. So it was nice to see them come out and get a win in Week 5. Spencer Rattler finally gets his first win as a starter. The defense played great in the second half, and it was a really nice showing from the Saints. But this Giants team makes no sense. I mean, how are you beating these playoff teams and then you lose to a team that hadn't won a game yet this season?
Thank you.
It's really
Thank you.
It's quite confusing. But
I have an answer to that question, but I'm going to talk about that.
They're wishy-washy.
You know what? There are no rules. Let's go ahead and just talk about the other Giants game that happened last night.
No,
because I died to get to this game because I wanted to say this. The Yankees lose. But there's always a but. But Cam Scatterbo and the Giants win. Because last night, none of us, probably most people, including myself, had no idea who this Cam Scatterbo guy is. And then all of a sudden last night, he blew up fantasy, put up incredible points, won the game last night for the Giants versus the Eagles, 34-17, making his duo with Jackson Dart incredible. I mean, this was talk about like, what happened? What happened? It was unbelievable what we saw last night. The tush-push rule, we'll talk about that in a second. But first, did you know who Cam Scatterbo was last night?
Yes. Well, no, because Cam Scatterbo was a star at Arizona State. So if you watch any Arizona State football, you knew very well who Cam Scatterbo was. So I've known him I've known him for a few years now, but I'm glad that he finally showed what he could do on a national stage because he is incredible and he's tough too. I mean, this guy just runs into contact. He's basically a human bowling ball. Now, granted, I am concerned about his health, right? And the same with Jackson Dart.
Of course.
These guys just run into people like it's nobody's business. The Giants are going to have two. Do they just both have CTE and they're just both going crazy right now? And it's leading
Yes,
to the
yes,
game.
because it was prime time on Thursday Night Football and their parents were in the audience.
Used
That's
to be
why.
more insane. I mean, did you see the Giants fans when Jackson started to come out and Russell Wilson came in? They booed him after one play. Now, to be fair, it was a terrible throw by Russell Wilson, but
To be fair, Russell Wilson should not be a quarterback anymore.
it's also crazy how much Brian Dable loves Jackson Dart. He literally went to the medical tent while he was getting evaluated for a concussion, trying to get him out and back on the field. And Cam Scatterbo did the same thing. I guess they don't care if Jackson Dart is a concussion or not. This team is insane, but it's what New York football's been missing, though. They've been missing this mentality that they had last night, and that's why they've been so bad for the last 10 years. And with Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo leading the way, maybe there's going to be a bit of a culture change here with the Giants, and maybe they're going to finally start to turn a corner. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, I don't know what's going on. They have not looked good all season.
No.
I know they started 4-0, but those 4 games, they were all
not 4-0 wins.
and none of them were really that impressive. I mean, you've lost each of your last 2 games now. You know, Jalen Hurts has not looked good. I'm sorry, Jalen Hurts. You have not looked good. The defense was playing good up until last night where they gave up 34 points to the Giants for whatever reason. But there's a lot of questions to be answered. There's a lot of questions to be answered about the Eagles, especially after last night's performance.
I mean, you do 4 straight tush pushes that are unsuccessful. I mean, do you not have another play call?
I have to say, my opinion has changed so much on the tush push. I was completely against banning it before the season, but now I'm completely for banning it because it's also annoying because they literally false start on every single one of these tush pushes. And if the officials are finding it challenging to officiate the play, then the play shouldn't be allowed to be run in that case. Because
that's fair.
They are getting an unfair advantage every time they snap the ball. And also it's boring too. We don't want to see 4 straight tush pushes is ridiculous. Now, to be fair, the Giants defense shouldn't have been in a situation where they allowed them to do that, but still, if they're just going to false start on every play, they're going to vote to ban it. They were only 2 votes short last year. I think they'll get there this offseason. There's no way the NFL executives were happy watching that game last night and watch them run 4 straight tush pushes. Especially when the Giants just had Cam Scatterbo running through the Eagles defense.
Listen, at the same time, I have no rule about. I don't have a feeling about this tush push. I think it's fine. I mean, if it works for you guys, it works. It doesn't work, it does work.
You can't false start on every single one, though. They have to fix that.
They have to false start. I mean, that's a little ridiculous too, 1,000%. But at the same time, too, is if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And for the officiating team, if it is a problem for the officiating team where they cannot determine if it's a touchdown or who has the ball or who doesn't have the ball, then absolutely I think that has to be banned. But personally, from where I'm seeing it, it's just another play that the Eagles are trying to hopefully have success on. In most cases, they aren't having success on it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enough about the Giants. And although, by the way, the Yankees lose was just funny, by the way. I had to throw that in there. I mean, it was just the meme the other day was Poppy and Ortiz and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was just hilarious. And
Yankees lose. Also, what a rough night it was last night for the city of Philadelphia.
I know. Did you see that the Flyers lost?
And the Phillies lost one of the most boneheaded plays I've ever seen in a
100%. It was hilarious.
Which good though. I hate the Phillies, so I'm glad that happened. But how do you do that? Your whole season just goes bye because of that. Imagine playing 162 games only for your season end on a play like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got no notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we'll move along. I think at this point.
Yes, I think we can move on.
One more thing though. The Yankees lose. I had to do it because it just, even though I root for the Yankees once in a while, but I just had to do it because it was in me. The Broncos took on the Philadelphia Eagles last week, the other Philadelphia team that we're talking about. And the Eagles lost again. 2 straight games they lost to the Denver Broncos. Final score 21-17. It was just too funny to watch. It is too funny at this point. Denver all of a sudden got the win. And we both got the pick wrong. What else is new? Go ahead. Tell us about this game, Jack. Go ahead.
Yeah, shout out to Sean Payton for going on the road and beating the undefeated defending Super Bowl champions, especially being down 17-3. I mean, for whatever reason, the Eagles just stopped playing football in the 4th quarter, and they had, all of these costly mistakes. The offense just flaming out, the defense not being able to stop Bo Nix, who has really struggled early on in the season. But this is the type of win for the Broncos that can turn the tide of their season. The first 4 weeks weren't that great. Sure, they had 2 wins, but, they struggled overall. Their offense couldn't really get much going, but this is the type of win that builds your confidence. And to get a win over the defending Super Bowl champions is a remarkable achievement for this Broncos team. And meanwhile, for the Eagles, as we just talked about, they've got a lot to figure out, especially on this offense. I mean, what's going on with Jalen Hurts? Why is A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith not getting targets? Why is Saquon Barkley not having as good of a season as he did last year? So again, the Eagles are going to have to answer these questions. I mean, I know they're 4-2. They're probably still going to win the division, but you've got Washington and even Dallas as a possibility in this division. So a lot of questions to be answered right now for the Eagles.
There is a lot of questions to be questioned and asked for sure. And we'll see what happens next week. Next, we go to we go to the Cowboys, and we go to the Jets. And the worst football team on the United, and not, it might even be the worst franchising team in the entire world at this point, because they're not going to be going to the Super Bowl anytime soon. And we know that for a heartbeat, and we know that for a fact. It's the New York Jets, because they lost 37-22 to a very to unique Dallas team. And yeah, this Jets team just looks awful, and a lot of things need to be changed.
Yeah, it's just a completely rough loss for the Jets. I mean, good for the Cowboys, though. The Cowboys have played really well really the entire season. Other than the Bears game, they've been very competitive in all their games. And, now they're 2-1, and maybe they can start to look ahead. It's a good start for Dallas. They're running the ball well. Dak Prescott's having an MVP type season so far. The defense, I think, is still a concern for Dallas. I don't really know what this defense is going to look like, but again, the Cowboys will be able to win all these games against weaker opponents because of how good their offense is. And for the Jets, it's they're obviously struggling early in the season, and it's going to take some time for Aaron Glenn to build that culture, if he's even able to build the culture there in New York. But a good win for the Cowboys, and they're 2-1. They are right in the thick of the NFC playoff race.
No question about it. But this Jets team, though, it's over for them. It's
rough one, Jim.
It's rough one.
Yeah. Jim, it's a rough one, Jim.
It's a rough one. We'll just skip it. We go now to Indianapolis. Let's about to skip over it. Where he's got a flag ready. He's got something ready. He went to his first ever Indianapolis Colts game at Lucas Oil Stadium. Before we even talk about the game, what was it like at Lucas Oil Stadium at the game, Jack?
Oh my God, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, especially considering MetLife Stadium is our home stadium. Just walking into this absolutely beautiful retractable roof stadium, it was a complete shock. Like the moment you walk in, like it just hit you. And the game was so much fun. I mean, obviously we beat the Raiders, but it was just such a beautiful stadium. The crowd was great. Darius Leonard retired, spoke at halftime. That was great. And just a great win for the Colts. I mean, Daniel Jones continued to do Indiana Jones type things with his performance. Jonathan Taylor with 3 more touchdowns. The Colts defense with 2 interceptions. And Geno Smith is proving that maybe he was holding the Seahawks back these last couple seasons with how bad of a start he has had with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now 9 interceptions in 5 games. That leads the league.
That was just one heck of a game, though. And this Las Vegas team, they're in jeopardy.
Very much so.
They really are in jeopardy, but I'm glad you had a great time. Did you have a favorite part about the game about being there that wasn't the game itself?
That's a great question. I would say just like the beauty of the stadium, there were like 2 really big windows, let a lot of natural light in the stadium. The roof is pretty cool. The banners, the seats, the views were great of the stadium, and it was just a great time.
That is awesome. That really is awesome. I'm glad you had a great time.
Yeah, it's really fun.
And with that, we both got the survivor pick right for the Colts. We were both correct about it.
See why Lucas Oil hosts so many big sporting events with the way
it really is it really is an incredible.
Final Four will be there this year.
Yes, it is. And
Big Ten Championship.
They really got to put the Savannah Bananas there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Big Ten Championship is there. The Combine's there every year.
Did you meet Blue? That's what
I did. I met Blue before the game with my family. Okay. It was fantastic.
Yeah, Blue's actually funny on social media. I give you that one.
He might be the best NFL mascot.
Except
I don't know if he's the best. Oh, I think the Philly Fanatic might be the best sports mascot, but
Blue's Philly Fanatic is up for in baseball. Though. That's baseball.
That is baseball. What I'm saying in all sports, it might probably
in all sports. Oh, I don't know about all sports. That's me tough one. But for football, though, definitely one of the best mascots out there.
For sure, yeah.
All right. And yeah, the only thing I don't like about Blue is the pie. Other than that, everything else, though, pretty funny.
It's funny though.
All right, what else we got? We got the Dolphins. We got the Panthers. The Panthers won 27-20. Surprisingly close. Interesting.
Yeah, we both got the pick right. How about
Nice
the
sound football.
announcer during this game? I don't know if you saw the
Um,
announcer. He was going absolutely insane during this game. It was really funny. Um, but a nice cut. I mean, the Panthers were down 17-0 early on, and they just had a nice comeback to beat the Dolphins. I mean, how about Rico Dowdle filling in for Chuba Hubbard? Over 200 rushing yards for the former Cowboys running back. And, the Panthers defense tightened up in the second half, and changes have to be coming in Miami soon. I mean, this team is 1-4. Tyreek Hill's out for the year. Tua has not looked good. The defense
no,
has looked awful. I mean, the only good on the Dolphins has surprisingly been Darren Waller. 3 touchdowns in 2 games. I can't believe how good he's been, but the rest of this team is just awful. I can't believe Mike McDaniel has not been fired yet, and he
no,
probably will be fired soon because of
absolutely.
how bad this team is. But
But first, I got to switch to quarterback.
yeah, well, it's a great win though for the Panthers. Though the Panthers are looking the best they have in quite some time, so that's a testament to the Panthers. Bryce Young getting better every week, and we'll see what happens with the Panthers the rest of the season.
Well, that is for sure. I mean, I'm very curious too.
Oh boy, this next game.
How on earth do the Cardinals lose to the Titans? They make the Jets look like a good football team.
No, the Titans.
No, the Jets. I'm gonna go with the Jets. I don't care.
Oh, okay.
With this situation. How do you lose that game? We both got the pick wrong. How do you lose that game? How do you... Great for Seattle. Great for Seattle.
It's
But
great for every
great
team.
for every other team in the NFC West. But what? Really? What?
I don't even know where to start with this game.
I don't either.
First of all, just like the Colts did last week, you drop a touchdown short of the goal line again. What is Deshaun Jackson talking to all these players before the game, telling them this is how that no matter if you drop the ball, if no one's in front of you, it's an automatic touchdown? I mean, what are we doing here? I don't know if you saw Jonathan Gannon go over to Amari DiMercado and yell at him after dropping the touchdown, but Jonathan Gannon was fined $100,000 for berating him. How do you fine someone for holding them accountable? I don't understand that. And then you intercept Cam Ward, and then as you're diving to the ground, you fumble the ball on your own. It rolls into the end zone, and Tyler Lockett, of all people, the former Seahawk, recovers it for the touchdown. And then your offense goes 3 and out, and then the Titans go down the field, kick a field goal to win their first game of the season. This was, I don't know if I've ever laughed more at a game than I did at this, because how in the world do you lose this game? It just made no
It really is
sense.
unbelievable. It
Yeah.
really is unbelievable. That's all I could say. No other notes. We go now to one of the best games by far of the afternoon, except
Oh, it
there
was
was
the best.
except there was no defense. 38-35 the final. Tampa Bay got the victory. I got the pick right. Jack out of work because he picked Seattle. He didn't listen to Eli. Um, what a game! It really was a game, but it came down to a lot of mistakes from Seattle, and that's what I think that's what ultimately cost this game. But the defense, there was no defense on both sides. I mean, you put up what was it, almost 70 points, 80 points? It was 70 points at one point. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it was a little out of hand too when you have both no defenses. But it was an exciting game though. At least it was entertaining. Should have been the 425 game, but that wasn't. It was CBS owned, but still.
Yeah, well, this could have at least been the Nance Romo game on CBS, if anything, rather than Broncos Eagles. But yeah, what a game this was. So much back and forth. I mean, shout out to Emeka Ibuka and JSN, the respective receivers, just going at it with each other. Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold exchanging touchdown passes. I mean, if you're a Carolina Panthers fan, you were watching this game, you must have been devastated, considering these are your former 2 quarterbacks who gave up on both being absolutely incredible. But all I've got to say is the Seahawks are for real and the Bucs are for real. I think we're going to see both these teams in the playoffs.
Oh, 1,000%.
Hopefully playing each other again, because that
I
game
would
was
love that.
awesome.
But
yeah,
except with better defense though, because we saw no defense last night. I'm sorry, Sunday.
and the other thing too that's great about this game is that these are 2 of the most likable teams in the NFL, at least in my opinion. Baker, how can you not like Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold, considering everything they've been through in the NFL? But what an incredible game. But yeah, ultimately the Bucs just got luckier bounces than Seattle did. I mean, that last interception, that wasn't even Sam Darnold's fault. It hit the helmet of the defensive tackle and ricocheted to Levante David, and it set up the Bucs for a field goal. But other than that, just a completely perfect game for both offenses. It is a bit concerning to see Seattle's defense not play so well after they were so good the first 4 weeks, but Tampa Bay's offense is just that good. But as I said, I really hope we see these two teams play again in the playoffs because that was some really electric stuff there in Seattle this weekend.
Absolutely, and I want to see that matchup again. I really, 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 really do. Um, I just hope for better defense. I've been saying that, stressing it. I've really been stressing it. The defense was horrible on both sides. I know Seattle has better defense than that, but they were banged up and injury wise. So really hoping for some change there. We go to a very boring Lions Bengals game. The Lions are just the Lions won. Bengals just they forgot how to play. 37-24 the final. We both got the pick right. Jack got the lock right in this game. No notes for the Bengals except they need Joe Burrow back. For the Lions are the Lions.
Yeah, well, the Bengals do have another Joe. It's just not Joe Burrow. It's Joe
Now
Flacco.
Joe Flacco,
Joe
which
Flacco
is
they
interesting.
traded for. Now, is that going to do anything? No, not with that offensive line. Not with 40-year-old Joe Flacco. Jamar Chase will probably have more yards now, but it's not going to matter. Speaking of Jamar Chase, he was like Travis Hunter this week, considering he had 6 catches for 110 yards, and he also had 3 tackles because Jake Browning threw 3 interceptions, all in the direction of Jamar Chase. I mean, how is Jake Browning that bad that you make Jamar Chase look like Travis Hunter out there playing both sides of the ball?
Yeah.
The crazy thing with the Lions is that they're playing nowhere close to their best football, and they are still 4-1, and you could argue they're the best team in the NFL right now. So just think about when this team starts to play better football down the road.
Yeah.
They're going to be a team that's going to be able to compete and a team that's going to have a good chance to possibly go to the Super Bowl. Dan Campbell's got these guys playing well, and this is a big win for the Lions, and for the Bengals, their season's over. I'm sorry, there's no, unless Joe
No
Burrow
hope.
magically comes back super early, they have no chance to make
No.
the playoffs.
No, they don't. Well, I'm gonna go to a surprise game here. I really was surprised that this was the Fox big game of the day. And what happened here? Jaden Daniels comes back. The Commanders win, and they beat the Chargers. Unbelievable, 27-10. Are the Commanders back in it? Are they going to claim the number 1 spot now in the NFC? Are they winning games for this reason? Or was just the Chargers not having the best day that they really should have been had home versus the Commanders, which was very interesting to see.
Well, I think you just have to look at the injuries that the Chargers have had. I mean, their whole offensive line is banged up. Their top 2 running backs are both on IR now. This is just a team that's been really rattled by injuries, and it's definitely affecting their play on the field. The penalties really killed them on Sunday. Justin Herbert played fine, didn't play his best game though. The Chargers defense though was disappointing though, considering that no Terry McLaurin for Washington, and they still were able to put up 27 points. You had Bill Krosky-Merritt with 2 touchdowns. Jaden Daniels looked great in his first game back from the injury. Deebo Samuel has been incredible to start the season with Washington. This is a big win for the Commanders after missing Jaden Daniels for 2 weeks. I think the Commanders are going to start to get on a roll here now, and I think they're going to end up being just fine in the season.
I think so too. And now we go to a game that there was some speculation that the Patriots were going to have a shot at this game. I didn't think that we were going to get this big of an upset and this craziness happen on Sunday night. It's been an exciting Sunday night season, that's for sure.
Yeah.
As the Patriots go into Buffalo and they win that game 23-20. We both got the pick wrong. But this is kind of like a surprise in my opinion. I did not expect this many great Sunday night games. I did not expect the Patriots to go into Buffalo and win that game. I did not expect a lot of things. And well, yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going to give myself a half point on this one because I did say on the show last week, don't count the Patriots out of this game. And
Yeah,
it
you
turns
did.
out I was exactly right because the Bills hadn't really been playing that well, and they were exposed on Sunday night by the Patriots. I mean, shout out to Mike Vrabel. Could be the early favorite for Coach of the Year. Actually, no, probably the Jaguars coach, Liam Cohen. But Mike Vrabel is in that conversation, though, considering that it looks like the Patriots might be turning a corner now in the post-Brady era. And the crazy thing about the Patriots, 6-time Super Bowl champions, they're likable now, though. Like, they're a team that I feel like I can root for. Like, I can get behind them now. I don't really feel a hatred towards them anymore. And maybe that's because Belichick's not there anymore, because Brady's not there. But Mike Vrabel and Drake May are going to take this team to the next level real soon. Drake May, an incredible performance in Buffalo. Didn't have a touchdown, but that doesn't really matter. He was really good. Stephon Diggs, his first game back in Buffalo, had 10 catches for well over 100 yards, made the Bills look like fools for getting rid of him. And just a gritty performance from the Patriots on Sunday night, just taking the Bills down in Buffalo. Absolutely incredible stuff from this New England Patriots team. Really, really good stuff from them. And as I said, I picked the Patriots to make the playoffs during our preseason picks.
Yes, you
I think
did.
that's looking like a pretty good pick right now because they're 3-2. They really should be 4-1, but they are 3-2. And their schedule is pretty weak the rest of the season. This might have been their toughest game of the season, and they managed to win. So I think the Patriots are really going to start to get on a roll here now, and I'm excited to see what this team can do the rest of the season.
Oh, me as well. We go to the Jaguars game where they took on the Chiefs. And I got the pick right. Jack got it wrong. Oh, sorry. I had to say that. 31-20 at the final. The Jaguars, they're looking promising as they head down the stretch. This Kansas City team, though, not looking so promising. A lot of changes that need to be done going forward. But this Jacksonville team kind of looks promising. They were able to beat this tough Kansas City, not tough, but they were able to beat a Kansas City team, which were Super Bowl champions a couple of years ago. And they've been winning pretty good football games. I mean, this is, a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's just think about this for a second. Who would have thought before the season that the Jaguars and the Colts would be atop the AFC standings through 5 weeks?
Nope, none of us.
I mean, this could be the battle. This could be the division battle to watch for this season if the Texans get back into it.
Oh,
This
yeah.
AFC South is looking pretty good. I mean, Liam Cohen has just done wonders there in Duval County with the changes he has brought to this Jacksonville offense, and it has been absolutely incredible to watch. I mean, they're finally starting to use Travis Hunter. The defenses look great. They had that 100-yard pick six. And for the Chiefs, I'm not sure what's going on. Patrick Mahomes has played well, but I mean, if you saw the Trevor Lawrence touchdown run at the end of the game, what was Chris Jones doing? He was just standing there
I
watching Trevor
know.
Lawrence go into the end zone. I mean, like how does Andy Reid not discipline him after that? How do you just stand there and let him score? So I don't know what's going on with the Chiefs right now, but they're not playing good football, and we'll have to see what happens the rest of the season.
Well, we talked about the Giants and the Eagles just moments ago on our show. Heading into week number 6, two teams in by the Texans and the Vikings. And with that, Jack takes it from here. Other way. Jack takes it from here to talk about the upcoming schedule for week number 6 and our picks.
We are starting early again this week with a Sunday morning game at Tottenham Stadium in London, 9:30 a.m. over on NFL Network. It's the Denver Broncos coming off that big win over the Eagles, facing the winless New York Jets. The Broncos are favored by 7. I honestly wouldn't be shocked if this is somewhat of a close game because I feel like the Broncos could be riding high a bit off that win over the Eagles.
Yeah.
And, the Jets they've had some games they've looked promising, right? I mean, they played well against the Steelers.
Week 1, that doesn't count. Besides week 1.
But Tampa Bay, though, week 3, they only lost by 2 points, and they were winning late in the fourth quarter. So I think they're going to keep it close, but they're not going to win. Give me the Broncos 24-18. I think that it's a big game for their defense, and I ultimately think they're able to win this game. Eli?
I'd just like to say, I know I had a lot of hate about these international games and stuff. I had a lot of beef of it. But now that I'm working like the afternoon shifts and the night shifts at my work, I kind of enjoy these morning games. I can watch a full football game after church and everything. So,
Yeah.
I mean, just want to say that. I'm sorry for the West Coast people. It's like kind of like these games. The Jets winning a football game in a million years. It will happen this season eventually, but not right now. Not in London, not against the Denver Broncos team that are coming off a big win versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Give me 32-15 the final. Give me the Denver Broncos.
Let's head to the 1 o'clock slate. We'll start off with the Rams facing the Ravens, 1 p.m. over on Fox. The Rams are favored by 7.5 here. No Lamar Jackson once again for the Ravens this week, and that makes my pick pretty easy. Give me the Rams here, 34-10. I'm going to make it my lock of the week. I feel very confident that they're going to bounce back after that loss to the 49ers, and I just cannot trust this Baltimore team without Lamar Jackson there, so give me the Rams.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with this pick. I'm going to go with the Rams 26-23. I think it'll be a lot closer than we
Eli
think.
score.
Sorry, the Eli score, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I was like, what? What did you say? Sorry, yeah, but I have to go with the Eli score. I think it's going to be a lot closer than we think, actually.
Yeah, totally agreed. Next up, let's head to Carolina. The Cowboys facing the Panthers. This is 1 p.m. on Fox as well. Dallas favored by 3.5. Both these teams coming off big wins. I am going to take the Cowboys here, 26-20. I think the Panthers keep it close, but I think Dallas's offense is too good. Panthers defense not that great, so I think the Cowboys ultimately win this game. But I could see it going either way. How about you, Eli?
Should be a very interesting game. I'm very curious to see how it goes, but I'm going to go with the Indianapolis Colts in this one. 28.
Colts?
Nope.
Yes, more wins for us. Yes.
Sorry, wrong pick. I'm tired. 28-21. Making sure I read this right. Dallas Cowboys.
Got it. All right.
Reason why
Now we can move on to the
Pretty good
Colts
game.
game. Yeah.
Now we can go to Colts game. You already heard my pick. It was 28-20. So
Yep. Yeah. 20-20. So you
they
don't
take
need
on the
to
Cardinals.
repeat that. Yeah, the Cardinals are facing the Colts. It's 1 p.m. on Fox and Lucas Oil. The roof will be open. Eli 28-20 for the Colts. I also think the Colts win, and I think they win 27-14.
Ooh.
Convincing win for the Colts. We don't know if Kyler Murray's going to play on Sunday, so I think that kind of brings the score down a bit. But ultimately, I think the Colts win. I think it's going to be a defensive game, and I think the Colts win. Next up, a really good game here in Jacksonville. The
It really
Seahawks
is.
traveling to Duval to face the Jaguars. 1 p.m. on Fox. This is going to be a fantastic game. The Seahawks are favored by 1.5 here, and this is a game I had a really hard time picking. It's
I did
funny because
too.
I've actually picked the Seahawks in all 5 games this season, and you know what? I'm going to pick them for a 6th time. Give me the Seahawks here on the road. I'm going to steal the Eli score, 26-23 in favor of Seattle. I just think Jacksonville, I don't think Luck's going to be on their side this week. You know, they had all those takeaways over the 49ers, and they had some very lucky plays against the Chiefs. I don't think Luck's going to be on their side this week. I think Seattle's going to be hungry to bounce back after that loss to the Buccaneers, and I think the Jaguars ultimately win. I also expect there to be a lot of Seahawks fans in the Jacksonville Stadium this week. So give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, it should be a great game to watch. One of the best games I think of the day, and I don't think there's any question about it. Um, this is a game I had also a tough time picking because Seattle came off a bad loss because their defense to Tampa Bay, another Florida team, and I just did this was the Jaguars are just looking too good. I won't be surprised if the Jaguars come out with a victory. I won't be. But I'm going since they didn't take Seattle last week. I'm having a little bit more confidence this week in Seattle. I'm going to take them to win 24-22 in a very close game. I think it'll be, but I won't be surprised. Like I said, if Jacksonville does come up on top, don't be surprised.
Yeah, I totally agree. Next up, the Chargers are facing the Dolphins, 1 p.m. on CBS. Los Angeles favored by 4.5 here. I like the Chargers in this one, 28-25, high scoring game. I think though ultimately I trust Justin Herbert over Tua Tagovailoa, so I think the Chargers will win this game by 3 points. How about you, Eli?
I'm going with the Chargers here, 32-18. It should be a little bit of a blowout because the Dolphins are that bad.
Steelers facing the Browns in Pittsburgh, 1 p.m. on CBS, AFC North matchup. The Steelers are favored by 5. Dylan Gabriel getting the start again for the Browns. The Steelers are coming off their bye week. And I like the Steelers here coming off their bye week. They've had an extra week to prepare. Give me Pittsburgh here. Very low scoring game. There will be a lot of defense here. 19-12. Give me the Steelers in this one.
Give me the Steelers, 22-20. Should be a great one.
Okay, the Patriots are at the Saints, 1 p.m. on CBS. This was originally 4:25 on CBS. They moved it to the 1 o'clock window.
Yikes.
The Patriots are favored by 3.5 here. You know, I honestly think the Saints keep this close because I think the Saints have had a pretty good season so far, even though they're 1-4. But at the end of the day, the Patriots are just the more talented team here. And I think Drake May has another good performance on the road. So give me the Patriots here, 27-22 over the Saints. Patriots undefeated on the road, by the way, early in the season.
I'm also going with the Patriots. Although the Saints got a big win last week versus New York, that luck doesn't last this week. Taking on this New England Patriots team, 20-18 will be the final.
Okay, we got the Toilet Bowl here in Las Vegas as we move to the late window. The Titans are facing the Raiders, 4:05 on Fox. I really didn't even know what I wanted to pick for this game. I don't even really care if I get this game wrong, to be honest, because both these teams are just terrible. But I'm just going to pick the home team. I'll take the Raiders 15-9, but if the Titans win, that's good for them, I guess.
Who is more terrible than the other? That'll be the Las Vegas Raiders. For my upset pick of the week, give me the Titans, 18-15. Don't be surprised the Titans come up on top.
Okay, the Buccaneers facing the 49ers, 4:25 on CBS.
Great game.
Yes, great game. This game was flexed from 1 o'clock to 4:25. It's the national game. We got Mac Jones going up against Baker Mayfield in this one. This is going to be a really interesting game to watch. I mean, there's a lot of injuries, right? The Bucs are without Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Bucky Irving again. So it's going to be the Emeka Ibuka show again. And the 49ers are also without a lot of their offensive weapons. I expect to see a lot of Christian McCaffrey in this game. I expect to see a lot of Emeka Ibuka in this game. And I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think, though, being at home, I like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here to win by 3 points, 31-28. I could absolutely see the 49ers coming out on top, but I think Baker Mayfield leads another game-winning drive at the end, so give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Should be a really close game. I'm super excited for this one. I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, though, 32-26. They look like the better team in this matchup.
Okay, the Bengals facing the Packers, 4:25 on CBS. The Packers are coming off the bye. The Bengals are coming off the loss to the Lions. Green Bay favored by 14.5 points. That is the biggest point spread
Margin.
of the week. So, for my survivor pick of the week, I'm picking the Packers 26-9. Joe Flacco has no chance against this defense. And coming off the bye, I think the Packers will look much smoother than they did in the first 4 weeks.
I have to go with the Packers, and it has to be my survivor, 28-12. This Bengals team hasn't done much this season, and that's because they're out with Joe Burrow. So it has to be the Packers.
Okay, Sunday Night Football here. The Lions facing the Chiefs.
Oh.
It's going to be a great game. Even though the Chiefs have struggled early in the season, it's 8:20 on NBC. The Chiefs are favored by 1 point here, so this game could go either way. I had a really hard time picking this game. The Lions have some injuries in their secondary, but I mean, the Chiefs have just looked really, really rough on offense so far this season. And I know this game's in Kansas City, but I like the Lions to win this game. I originally had the Chiefs winning, but I switched my pick. So give me the Detroit Lions, 35-32, high scoring game. But again, I think the Lions have just a little bit more firepower in offense than the Chiefs do.
This is a very interesting game. Could be a little boring, but could be interesting. I think the Chiefs get a victory. They need to bounce back win. They're home. Give me Kansas City 24-20.
Okay, let's move over to Monday Night Football. We have another doubleheader. This is the third doubleheader of the season, and we have one more in Week 7 as well.
It's not great either. That's the sad part.
Yeah, we'll start off with 7:15 p.m. on ESPN. The Bills are going to be facing the Falcons at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. The Bills are favored by 3.5 here, coming off that loss to the Patriots. You know, this is an interesting game because the Falcons are kind of this wishy-washy team. I'll steal your term, where they have these games they look great and they have these games they look bad.
Yeah.
It's funny because they look good against good teams and they look bad against the bad teams. So you know what? I don't really feel confident in doing this, but I'm going to do it. For my upset pick of the week, I'm taking the Atlanta Falcons at home in this one, 23-21. It's a bold pick, I know, but I just don't trust this Buffalo team right now. I feel like this is a trap game going to Atlanta, and I think the Falcons also coming off their bye week, so they had an extra week to prepare for Buffalo, and I think Atlanta ultimately gets the win here.
Wow. Just wow. That's all I got to say. Now they're not being the Bills are going to be, come on, it's the Bills. They lost last week, but they're not losing again. Give me the Buffalo Bills on Monday night, 26-23, and another Eli special.
Nice. Final game, the Bears facing the Commanders, 8:15 p.m. on ABC. The Commanders are favored by 4 here. Jaden Daniels fully healthy. Likely no Terry McLaurin again this week, but we'll have to see what happens. I'm going to take the Commanders here, though, 28-18. I like what they showed last week. I think they're going to keep it going this week. I think they'll be able to start to turn the season around. So, yeah, give me the Commanders here. I like this Bears team coming off their bye week, but I like the Commanders just a bit more.
I'm going with the Commanders in this one, 27-17. They looked great last week. They're going to look great again.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the 12th Horseshoe Podcast presented by Prova Italian Eatery of Moonachie, New Jersey. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., right?
9.
Okay, with Sports in Mono and Mono with Jim Monahan. Make sure you check out our episode next week where we'll recap Week 6 and we'll preview Week 7. It's crazy that we're that far into the season already, but hope everyone has a great weekend. Hope everyone has enjoyed opening week of hockey. Go Colts, go Rangers, and we will see you all